how we managed to cross each other, just like in the Web3 industry. You landed in Lisbon. How did you landed here, man?
Well, I lived in London for about 10 years and I'm originally from Cyprus, so they're quite polar opposites. One's a very small, quiet island, the other one's a very, still an island, but very busy, intense, and corporate. So I was looking for something in the middle, something that had a bit more of a buzz and different types of activities and culture, similar to London, but more of a lifestyle close to Cyprus. So did a bit of exploring and found that Lisbon seems to be a good match. So yeah, officially I've been here for just over a month now. So very fresh, very new, but I really like it.
Yeah, yeah. Lisbon. It is interesting. Has nice weather. There's many things. I think I just recently discovered that the environment of events and community here is very active. I think it was my friend John Carp from NFC. He told me that Paris. I said, John Carp, why don't you do more proactively the NFC summit in Paris? Say, people in Paris is kind of so much slow and etc. And tell that, I mean, with all the respect with the French, that the people active community of blockchain there is not so hyped about anything in events. And I think here there is sometimes too much. People is so much into the events that there is a bit of soap opera sometimes in the communities, what people are doing, some type of competition or with the spaces or the launch pads and etc. But I think it's so far kind of good for the ecosystem, balancing a little bit. It works interesting. If you come to Lisbon, you're always going to find a community interest to support, for the good and for the bad, events, venues. It is really interesting. Was not only for the weather, but also for to live and to. There is a type of choice about Lisbon to the Web3 ecosystem or tech ecosystem, or what?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being in Web3, I'm always looking to engage with active community members. Lisbon definitely has an active scene. I've been to Lisbon quite a few times in the past. I've been to a couple of ETH Lisbons before. Middle Europe happened a couple of months ago. And yeah, I do know a lot of people who are based in Lisbon. I know that it's been a hub for crypto nomads and nomads in general, actually. So there is this international kind of culture here, and a lot of people have transitioned either from other places in Europe, a lot of people from the US. And yeah, it's good. There's lots of different events that are happening. I haven't had the chance to participate in too many so far since I've been here, but yeah, it's good to be around people who are working on the same things that you are and share the same values with you, definitely.
That's amazing. So this can be my hook to ask you. Of course, I know, but your name.
Hmm.
What's the company working? What's your building? More or less, talk a bit about you.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Alexis. I'm the Global Partnerships Manager at Safe. For those who don't know Safe, we're the largest non-custodial wallet in the crypto ecosystem. Our wallet helps secure over $100 billion in total value locked, and we process about $40 billion of payments every month for our users, essentially. Myself, particularly, I work on the open source tooling that is available for people building on top of our smart contracts, SDK, and APIs. So even though you might not have interacted with the Safe Wallet interface before in the past, you might have used Safe Wallet smart accounts if you've used different types of applications like Polymarket or World App, Gnosis Pay, or any of the other around 300 ecosystem builders that use our applications. As of late, I've been almost fully focused on the AI space. It's something that we find very interesting, maybe something we can talk about a bit more here and how it relates to the Web3 body problem. But we're super bullish over at Safe on how AI will not only change and revolutionize economies on crypto and Web3, but in general, I think that we're living in the age of agents. So we've had the Industrial Revolution, we had the revolution that came from the internet and communications, and I think now we're entering the third stage that's going to be powered by AI and more specifically AI agents. And we've been building a lot of the infrastructure and tooling with crypto in order to facilitate a lot of the interactions and payments and different types of applications that these AI agents might need to use. And I'm super excited about it and happy to talk a bit more.
That's amazing. Do you think that somehow AI could be the catalyzer of the implementation of blockchain? Because I think there's still people some type of understanding that blockchain is a first the majority of people narrows down too much and reductive about the perception of blockchain just to Bitcoin or NFT. But do you think that AI can catalyze the use and the choice of the use of blockchain?
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem that we have in blockchain in general, and this is inherent to the not only the blockchain but infrastructure systems in general, it's a technically complicated technology based on a lot of different moving parts. There's decentralized sequencers, there's zero encryption technology, there's quantum resistant technology built into a lot of these things. So there's a lot of very complicated parts of the stack that are built there to provide different types of trade-offs. But one of those trade-offs that that creates is that it's not the most user-friendly experience. So it's very hard today for people building applications on the blockchain to compare and compete with the user experience being offered by someone like TikTok or Facebook or building centralized Web 2 type applications. The thing with AI and AI agents, however, is that AI doesn't care about UI. AI agents don't need a good user interfaces to interact with the different applications that we build with them. As long as those payment rails are well built, they're interoperable with each other, and they are able to find routes to move funds and value from one wallet or one user to the other, then that's all we need. So, yes, the answer in short, I think we will see a huge increase in total volumes and just generally activity and interest in blockchain system driven by AI, simply because it's such a good system for AI to use. We at Safe think, and I personally think, that every agent and every AI, so every human will have an AI agent, and every AI agent will need to interact with the blockchain to make payments between agents and payments human to agent, or agent to agent. So it's inevitable that I think we'll finally see huge usage of blockchains for all different types of applications.
That's super interesting. And do you see some mitigation on identity protection? And you spoke about being quantum ready.
Mhm.
How much of what is being built right now you think can be threatened by the upcoming democratization and miniaturization of the quantum computer or accessible about this? How much of a threat you think that can, together with AI, how much of a threat this can be to security, identity, and treasury somehow?
So I don't think it's a threat at all. I think AI is a great democratizer. It revolutionizes how we're able to distribute knowledge and skill amongst all different types of participants within the economy. So let's say today, I think probably a lot of the people who watch this podcast are in somewhat involved with crypto. Maybe you've bought crypto, you've sold crypto in the past. Probably 90% of people watching this podcast are not good traders. And the reason why you are not a good trader is because you don't have all the skills and expertise, and you just haven't gone through just the training that's required to become an efficient trader or manage a portfolio, and not only in crypto, but generally in life. I mean, financial sophistication is something that we don't do a very good job at teaching at schools. And in general, it's a complicated matter. And unless you've spent the time by yourself to read certain books or understand finance a bit better, you're probably at a disadvantage compared to someone who's worked in investment banking or anything like that. So, having an AI agent, for example, that's particularly fine trained in providing financial advice or doing portfolio management or anything like that means that for you or for the average person out there, you don't need to have $100,000 in the bank and go to a really expensive financial manager to manage your assets. You can load up an AI agent on a distributed web server that can do that for you for almost for free, and they just take a tiny cut on the top. So I think we're going to see a real revolution where we're going to find a lot of these different types of applications, not only in finance, but also in governance and identity, where we're able to distribute the resources and the compute and the intelligence required to perform different types of operations that in the past were gatekept by these smaller communities of experts across to the human population. So you talk a bit about privacy and identity. So I'm working with a very progressive team at the moment that is trying to solve this with AI agents again. And what this team is doing is that they're using an AI agent that's inbuilt in your browser. And this AI agent runs in what's called a trusted execution environment. And a trusted execution environment is something that most people have never heard of before. But if you have an iPhone or a similar Android type device, you probably already have this in your pocket. So these are secure enclaves that run within your phone and protect information in there, meaning that you can't extract the information that's in there as much as you tamper with it in a software or hardware. So it's always safe and secure there. So these AI agents today are being used to provide attestations, or what are known as proofs, that you can prove something to someone else without ever having to share that information. So it's a new kind of way of providing encrypted information, but in a much more secure way that you can automate with AI agents.
Wow.
So that's on identity. And I think the third part that we discussed of the Web3 body problem was governance or democracy, right? So now imagine an AI agent that knows you, knows your preferences, knows how you think and what you want to vote on, can go to your local parliament or to the European Union if you're part of a European country, understand all the different frameworks that are being introduced into the parliament or Congress or anything like that, give you a summary and propose what you might want to vote on each topic. You can go at the end of every week, spend 10, 15, 30 minutes, review all the different summaries that your AI agent has presented to you, and then essentially just either have it choose for you, vote for you, delegate the vote to someone else that you or the bot suggests that you should trust, and then automate all that for you. So I think we're going to see much more increase in participation in different types of democratic places, whether that's on-chain or off-chain. I think AI agents will just simplify all that kind of processes for us.
That's amazing and very inspiring. And one of the things that is generating on me a lot of concern, it is when you speak in these terms, feels good because you understand that knowledge is more accessible. People through AI, it is kind of more proactively learning and understanding things faster in a faster pace. It is proven. I think there is a school right now using some type of AI indexing with the curiosity with the kid of the student, and is kind of in 1 year the pace in which the person learns is kind of maybe sometimes depending on the country. Of 3 years of learning
Super
something.
cool.
This part gives me a lot of hope. What is kind of is maybe stealing my sleep? It is that if there is people practically creating more decentralized apps and etc., this is good. But when you start seeing not making any type of judgment, because I think, and I'm gonna say names, I don't care. It's fine. Trump, it is kind of using blockchain. We understand that maybe Elon Musk has some type of different agenda, and without doing any type of judgment on whatsoever, I think, as I've been discussing with other members of Web3 District, there is also some very positive impact on also popularizing some type of use of blockchain, but from the same direction of polarizing to Trump and also let's say Elon Musk with this. Also, there is the same potential to create some type of control narrative and identity and over control of what you say from the wokes, from California. And also, it is kind of those two extremes can kind of generate some type of, when you see that one social media indexing already very fast with a type of a protocol, and what was supposed to be decentralized is already going to a centralized point. How do you see hope on that? Because if the trillionaires, billionaires will continue to perpetuate the status quo of centralization, control, monopoly, at some point they can do in a way that you can go to the jail if you prompt something on AI.
Yep.
So this freedom that we say that potentially we have to decentralize and choose more will go through some type of filter from the ones that is ruling right now the social media, because in my opinion, instead of people creating new social media, using something, proactively choosing some other social media in which it is less centralized, people continues going to this old social media because it's a source of lead generation, money, resource, family, etc. So why will go to a social media in which nobody's there, right? And what creates me the chills and the preoccupation, it is that maybe it is the problem is not access to technology, because computer is there, so on and so forth. And you see how what is the stuff that people goes to Google search. It is maybe not a problem of having access to technology, but now I start to think that is a proactive effort of the tech community to, not with this proselytism or with this paternalist way, but to make an effort to educate and spread more, to say, hey, build your own brand, build your all decentralized wallet. Because if the people don't know also to prompt what to ask to the AI or the curiosity, the education and access to knowledge will continue to be perpetuated to the structural, people has more money, has more control. How do you see the counter power on that? Because if you have access to technology or amazing AI agent that can perform many things, how to have hope in the society that we're not going again to land on a dictatorship or some again centralized structure?
Yeah. So I think when you look at the longer macroeconomic trends, what we see is that during the Industrial Revolution, you had, let's say in Portugal, maybe 100 people control the power and the wealth. Moving into more of the digital age and the digital revolution, maybe those 100 people became 1,000 people or 10,000 people that had startups, big corporate companies, everything like that. I think moving into the age of AI, we're going to have 100,000 people or 1,000,000 people or 10 million people. So progressively, we're distributing power, equality, and wealth across to more people. And I think the reason and how this is done is because, as you mentioned, information has been around for quite a while now. So let's say for the past 10, 15, 20 years, anyone has been able to discover anything they want on the internet. It's relatively free, open. If you want, it's there. But it's not always easy to know how to learn and what to look for. So again, specialized AI agents are going to make this a lot easier for people. So you can have an AI agent that's an expert in teaching you this or this skill or how to learn or different kinds of things. So it won't be that much about knowing what to prompt. It's about understanding what you want to do as an individual, what you want to make of your life, and then finding different kinds of assistance that can help you achieve that. Creating moats and monopolies and tyrannies is definitely something that I don't think anyone wants, except the people who are building them, of course, or who want to be the tyrant. And I think part of being blockchain forward or Web3 forward, and I think part of the core ethos and mission that we try to believe in, is building permissionless, censorship resistant, and open systems. And I think we've been seeing a really positive trend recently with AI and open source movement. So about 3 to 4 weeks ago, you had Miyoshi-san from Japan, Sam Altman from OpenAI, and a few other large leaders in the AI space going to the US to announce that they're going to be investing 500 million in building new plants, and OpenAI is going to be great, and NVIDIA is going to be the future of AI, and America is going to be the king of AI, and all this and all that. And then 2 weeks later, China came out with DeepSeek, which is an AI model trained with a hundredth or a thousandth of the price, open source, available for anyone to access. And the future really is open source. You can't compete with that. Every single AI agent developer that I'm speaking with today, I ask, what model do you use for your agent? They never say OpenAI. It's impossible to work with OpenAI because there's so many restrictions, there's so much politics in it that you need to filter out all the different left-wing, right-wing ideologies. It's so Americanized. It's so like it doesn't work for
Yes.
the whole world.
Yeah.
Everyone's using Llama, they're using DeepSeek, they're using all the open source models because
Yeah.
those are the open source ones, are the ones who work.
Yes.
So I think slowly we're moving towards a more open source, more accessible, more available space. So I'm optimistic. I am an optimist, of course, but yeah, I think we're going in the right direction.
Not making any type of judgment, but doing. I like pretty much your point of view. What you're saying, it is that in the same speed that people can kind of has this show of a dictatorship or something. The tech community creators and people that is a bit aware, it is counter working in the same speed because of the same AI, and therefore even though can appear some type of desire of centralization, by the time there is this look and feel of monopoly or something, this old school vertical structure, as you mentioned the word United States, we need to be the king, and etc. There is already a kind of a counterculture saying, hey, just like in less time, less process power, computational power, we did the same as OpenAI.
Yeah.
And it gives me this hope because what you're telling me that is the dev community, it is proactively sometimes avoiding already this structure, right? To avoid the centralization. I recently understood that there is the IBM identity on blockchain, and also something about Microsoft or something like that. So they are pretty much with the eyes on that. One question that I have a particular curiosity to ask you is about MetaMask. I got a little bit preoccupied also that they have this partnership with Mastercard. You have some type of crossing some information on your personal ID. You do some KYC.
Yep.
And do you think that it is problematic or not? Kind of Mastercard crossing information with your personal information and blockchain and spending. Do you think that this is beneficial, is good, is bad?
That's a great question. So, what probably the number one misconception about blockchains across traditional media and most of the world is that blockchains are good for privacy. Blockchains are probably the worst thing you can interact with if you want to be privacy first and privacy focused, because absolutely anything you do on the blockchain is put on the ledger and is stored there forever for everyone to access permissionlessly and all the time. So whether it's a good idea to interact traditional financial rails and maybe large monopolistic companies like MasterCard, like Visa, companies that already have a lot of information with your on-chain identity, let's say, or your web wallet or your MetaMask or your Gnosis Pay or whatever you're choosing to use, I think it's not that big of an issue. I think similar to you need to be conscious, you need to be fully aware that anything you do on chain is monitored and can be traced back to you. And even if you're using parallel wallets or you're switching from one MetaMask to the other, anything like that, it's relatively easy to trace everything back to you. So as long as you're not doing anything nefarious, but also that you're fully aware that everything can be accessed by anyone at any point, then it's fine. But you need to know this. And I'm not sure enough people know and understand this at the moment.
And this pretty much insightful. You sharing that. I mean, it's a long journey to
Yeah.
modulate, to balance, so we get the best use of the tools we have right now, and be in the middle of this fight of control, right, of our data. In one point, there is this data-centric data ownership that is so beautiful, but in the other point, there is so much people trying to own that, sell that, and finding a solution for this. I think I will rely on your hope, saying that as fast as these people is trying to steal, there is also people trying to create the best use for that and build a much better world. Now going to another topic, it is in the crypto space, in this blockchain community, Web3 community. There is this a lot of people trying that loves many aspects of crypto, etc. Get seduced by this sometimes toxic prosperity from the blockchain, and just like absolutely everybody that is on blockchain or crypto needs to show up a little bit more. Let's say just like put it up some chains or chain for golden chains, something
Okay.
like that. Um, just like people has the understanding that if they own the cool car, less car or something like that, they will not be respected. Or um, how do you see this toxicity in which sometimes there is people that are totally broke, but they need to keep up, with some type of image.
Hmm.
How do you see this aspect of the community?
Mm, I'm not sure how much that is a direct representation of crypto, or maybe it's social media, or the age that we live in, or a combination of both. I'm really not sure. So there's people who join crypto for different kind of reasons. Obviously, at the core of it, crypto is about the creation of a new monetary system. And if you're attracted to wealth or want to be wealthy or flashy or showy, it's natural that you're going to be attracted to the generation of wealth or money or anything like that, or where kind of money is created. Crypto is a kind of moneyness, and there's thousands of tokens being launched every day, most of them unsuccessful, but nevertheless, that's a new form of moneyness that's being launched every day. So it's going to attract all types of people. But at the end of the day, why we have chose to build crypto the way we have chosen to build it is because it is permissionless. We welcome anyone and everyone, regardless of what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Do you want to launch meme coins and try to be rich? Then crypto is a great place for you. Are you a farmer in Kenya that wants to buy some more goats and is using WorldCoin to do that? That's a great solution for you. Are you in a marketplace in Ethiopia and you're using MiniPay from Cello, for example, to make your pay transactions? Then crypto is a great place for you. Maybe I can give you a very short story about how I got interested into crypto. So, like I said, I'm from Cyprus originally, and for many of the viewers, they probably don't know or don't remember or weren't familiar at the time. In Cyprus, we had the financial crisis in 2013, where the European Bank forced Cyprus to essentially give money from people's bank accounts in exchange for a long-term loan from the European government. So this proposal came from the European government. It was vetoed by the people, vetoed by the government. The European government came back, the European Council came back and said, we don't care what the people say. We need you to give us the people's money, or unless we're not bailing you out and we don't know what's going to happen. So they put pressure, and what happened? Everyone woke up the next day, and if you had over $100,000 in the bank, that money disappeared. That money went to the European Union. And I think a lot of people realized right there and then in Cyprus that actually the money you have in the bank is not your money. It's money that is just a number in the bank that can be confiscated or at any time. So that's part of the reason we choose to build trustless, permissionless financial markets. Crypto is not necessarily about making you rich, it's about giving you the opportunity to have non custodial, free ownership, transact with whoever you want, whenever you want, and not being controlled by anyone, any government, or anything like that. So it's a huge space. We're welcoming to everyone. If you want to try to get rich, more than welcome, but there's a lot of meaning and substance and hope, I hope, behind it.
That sounds super interesting. Just like I think that this side of blockchain is really really super interesting and shares hope because regardless, as we were speaking about, regardless your religion, your intention, and etc. Blockchain is this platform in which can really decentralize and the access to many things. Also, repurpose or purpose your your desires and etc. And put into practice. We are running to the end of the interviews, being very insightful. Just like today was very lucky day. Just like I'm super happy with the stars that being kind of very cool, very intelligent, very balanced about the view. I'm lucky to be part of this moment in which some we right is so many things are changing, and we have the chance still to change even more things, and being part of that it is also responsibility, right? Because as you said, if the society it is prone to subverse the use of airplane can be used for good and for bad, and our responsibility is to make sure that more and more people choose the more sustainable part of blockchain, regardless. I mean, even though it can be done for use for anything and express whatever somebody wants to reflect their culture or their inspirations, we understand that it is important to use well and with responsibility and I'm very very happy seeing what Safe is doing on many aspects. And before the closing remarks, is there any kind of super interesting thing that Safe is building right now that it is kind of can be some type of game changer or revolutionary somehow with AI or something like that?
Sure. So right now, we're running the largest crypto and AI hackathon in the industry with over $500,000 that we're going to give away next week. We have, I think, 600 hackers registered by now. I think, unfortunately, by the time this interview comes out, it would have already concluded. But a big caveat is that Safe provides open source, modular, adaptable, flexible, permissionless technology for anyone to build on top. We have loads of simple, super simple guides on how to use our SDKs, our APIs, and our smart contracts. And anyone and everyone who wants to build their own application or even business can do that on top of our contracts. So whether you're a user and you want a safe place to keep your assets on chain, Safe Wallet is a great solution for you. Or if you're a developer or builder that wants to build the next 100 million user application, Safe smart contracts are a great place for you. And particularly if you're working on anything AI related or AI agents related, I'd be very excited to speak with anyone. My DMs are open if you want to reach out to me on Twitter. It's at Alexis on Chain. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what everyone is building. So yeah, please do reach out to me. And yeah, it was a great podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. The pleasure was mine. You still have your how can I say last remarks, shameless promotion about sell or not sell, about yourself, revolutionary kind of incentives to feel absolutely free. You have your latest remarks. You can say absolutely whatever you want.
I think I'm just going to conclude with a summary of the conversation. I think that the blockchain is for everyone. AI will be for everyone. We hope the combination of the two will really create a drastic revolution to how the economies operate. A lot of people are scared in how this might affect their jobs or everything like that. Whatever you do, wherever your occupation is, there's free versions and free models out there to ask. Play around with it. If you're working, try it out in your work. Try to see, can you make it more productive, do more things. Just give it a try. Try and embrace AI. That's what I'm going to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis,
Thanks.
thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure for sure. Everybody that was interviewed and going to be interviewed yet, it is for sure to bring here again, maybe to do hackathons, whatever.
Sure.
Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, thank you so much.